Hey guys, so today's video is about anger outbursts. If you find yourself going from 0 to 100, if you find yourself maybe getting even aggressive with your words, hopefully not with your actions, but if that's the case, you're on the fight or flight response, and I'm going to help you with that because this is very common. So, my name is Tanya, Beauty Coach, as within, so without. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you have any questions at the end of this, if I didn't answer any of them. So anger takes on different forms, and contrary to what you may believe, anger is not unhealthy. So where does anger come from? Why do we have it? Is it negative? No, it's not. It's a normal human response. So I want to start this video by saying, if you're somebody that gets angry, that means that you're human. You're a human being. And even on the animal aspect, animals get angry. It is a natural human response. When it starts to get aggressive, and it goes from 0 to 100, and you start saying things that you may feel regret after, or you feel a lot of guilt, or asking yourself, why did I get that angry, that level? Or sometimes it even goes to the physical anger. So, and then you start either hurting a person or hurting or throwing things, and you get this immense energy. The problem is not the anger. The problem is unbalanced anger and unaware anger, not knowing where it comes from. The feeling of anger always comes from feeling powerless, hopeless, feeling like there's no resolving whatever you're going through, whoever you're talking with, there's no resolving the situation. So most often we think that we're going from 0 to 100, when in fact we're actually just going from 0 to 10. And in the 0 to 10, that's when you have to catch your awareness. So let's say 0 to 10 is when your eyes get wider, you start to breathe a little more heavier, your skin may feel irritated, you're going to start to feel the feeling of getting angry, irritated, and you're going to notice that you're a little bit more on high alert. Your voice may raise a little bit more. It's not coming from a place of love, let's just say. So when you go from the 0 to 10, you're not right away at 100, okay? And it's usually 10 to 100, it's instant. It's like all those numbers just disappeared. But the beginning phases, that's when you have to catch yourself. This is the self-reflecting time, when you have to stop yourself and understand where it's coming from. It's very easy to say, right? Well, there's questions that you can ask yourself. So let's say, I'll give you an example. You're in a situation with someone, and that person, whatever they're saying, it's not validating you, you're being misunderstood, something is happening, and you notice yourself feeling that your heart is beating a little faster and you're starting to raise your voice. As soon as you notice a little bit, there's a chance, a lot of people that do that always, and they're trying to control the feeling that they have internally. And what's happening is the powerlessness feeling. You feel right now that there is no resolving this. You are completely powerless. And then the other person is saying what they're saying and acting how they're acting, and you're just completely in the powerless phase. When that happens, to acknowledge that you're feeling powerless is a first huge step. So first you have to be aware of it. And the question you can ask yourself at that time, and you kind of have to almost tune out what the person's saying. So if you notice yourself like this, and this is self-awareness level 100, but it's okay to start. Remember, everything that I tell you in all my videos, it's not like you can master this overnight. You have to be kind and compassionate with yourself and be patient with yourself. And this is a step-by-step, because awareness eventually will come. But at the beginning of it, when you notice yourself, your heart is beating, and you chances are the other person's like, stop yelling, or don't interrupt me. Or when they say those things, or when that word comes out, that's a time to right now, you're at 10. And you ask yourself, what is making me feel powerless? Why do I see there's no resolving this? What is it that there's no resolving? Why am I powerless? So for example, if they're saying something that you're acting like this and you're doing like this, what's maybe happening at that moment is that you feel powerless over changing their mind of how you are. just for example. You feel that there's no resolving it because maybe that this person has often said those things or done those things, and you completely feel powerless over changing their mind, changing their perception. Or it's a reoccurring thing that has happened over and over, and you used to not get that angry, and now it just, there's no resolving it. That's it. So the anger is so strong. And oftentimes it could just be that your partner has done something that has, the same thing every day. Maybe they didn't do the dishes and you ask them to do the dishes over and over. And now, right now, oh my God, there's no resolving it. And you'll go super angry. So to acknowledge it, so you have to ask yourself, where do I feel powerless in this? Why do I feel like there's no resolving? What is it about the situation I can't resolve? And then when the person gives you a break to talk, you can say that, I'm feeling powerless right now. I feel like there's no resolving this. I feel like I'd love to resolve this, and powerless. When you use the word powerless or synonyms to powerless, I feel hopeless right now to what's happening. In my feelings, in myself, I'm feeling like that. Chances are, it's possible that the other person will react the way they react, but there's a chance that they may stop to listen to you and say, I really want to gain my power. Because what happens is when we go from 10 to 100, we're regaining our power. Because now you have the power to get angry. You have the power to storm off and to control that situation. Because now you have no power over what they're feeling and what they're saying. So to regain control, you need to yell. You need to throw something. You need to get angry because that's the only response. But chances are that's when you have lost control of the anger. And it has turned into an aggressive behavior towards yourself, towards the other person, towards an object. Now, if you start working towards the I feel powerless, that's the first step. Now, when you're going to notice that you practice this a little more often and you start noticing that you don't feel power and you don't, there's no hope to the situation, what you can do is at this point you walk away. Now, not the cutoff that most people that get extreme anger, extreme rage, they will do the cutoff because that's the only power. I can't deal with this. I don't want to deal with you anymore. I don't want to deal with this situation. And they just storm off or fight or flight. If you cannot fight and get that angry, you're going to storm off and you just want to get out of the situation. Chances are you only wanted to get out of the situation temporarily. But it's possible that you say, I want to get it out. I'm leaving. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. And it's so extreme because that's the flight response. Now, if you're in this feeling, you can say, I need to leave to regain my power. I'm going to leave temporarily. Now, hopefully you can have a partner or a friend that can understand you in this moment, that knows that you're dealing through your emotions. I need to deal with this. And then when you're alone, you sit with yourself and ask yourself, why do I feel powerless? When in my past did I feel powerless? And I know a lot of people feel that they don't want to dig up their past. They don't want to talk. It's the past is the past. It's gone. The thing is, in order to resolve the now, we have triggers. It's these post-traumatic triggers that have perhaps happened when we were very, very young. And right now, the way the person was talking or the action or something that happened just surfaced. And it brought out the same feeling that you felt when you were 7 years old, and you just don't recognize it. So when did you feel powerless when you were a child? Did you have no say in anything? Did you completely have no power? Your life, you felt completely hopeless in that similar situation? So maybe you never felt validated. You felt misunderstood as a child. So now when somebody misunderstands you, you go and you explode because you just want to regain that power. You want to feel understood. So if you sit with yourself during that time, what just happened there is that you took the time to take care of you, to regain your power, and then you have to give yourself that power and that hope. Now, it is possible that situation is that you can't resolve it. If somebody was diagnosed with an illness or a death or something happened and you're in that level of anger, then the only person that you feel powerless, you feel completely powerless. And by sitting with yourself and understanding that you can give yourself that power, give yourself the love, give yourself that validation at that moment, what's happening is now you're regaining your power and the anger subsides. So you'll notice when you get back together with this person, they may trigger it again. And if again, you can just express that you're feeling that there's no hope within you, not no hope with the person. Remember, pointing the finger at another person will never resolve it, because that person will go into their trigger response and their anger, and they will react the way they react. But if you own what you're feeling, I feel powerless, I feel hopeless right now. Not hopeless over you and hopeless over that. It's always just internally. And then you'll understand that when you sit with yourself and regain your power, that anger that keeps pushing the friendships away and pushing the relationships that you have around you away, and maybe even the relationships that you have with your kid. There's a possibility that you feel hopeless over a situation that's happening with your kids and you feel just powerless. But imagine the power that you're giving your child when you sit down and mommy got really angry right now. I'm really upset and I'm sitting, or daddy got angry and I'm sitting and I feel powerless. And you'd be surprised of what your children tell you of how to help you regain that power. Because children most often have a lot of compassion. And what you're doing them is teaching them how to deal with their anger, how to deal with their explosive anger. So I will make other videos on the other side of anger, the passive aggressive, or the people who can't deal with anger, who get the same level of anger, the same level as the aggressive, explosive anger. But what they do is they internalize it, walk away, and then keep it in themselves. I will make another video on that very soon. But I hope that this helps. And if you have any more questions that I may have forgotten or didn't address, please comment, let me know, and I will continue to keep making videos. I love you guys. You got this. Be patient with yourself. Have compassion for yourself and learn how to regain your power. And if you stumble and you yell and you go to 100, please don't shame yourself for it. Please don't. Sit with yourself and forgive yourself and understand that this is a process and it doesn't just happen overnight. There's been years of trauma, of things like that you had to deal with. So become your best friend. Reparent yourself. Go check out my video on reparenting if you want to work with that. And I love you guys. Have a great day.